What is up, you guys? It is me, Justin Tindo, once again. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, I hope you enjoy the video. So up until this point, I have played pretty much every 2D Mario game. Super Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3, World, the new Super Mario Bros. Games, all of them. I know what this series is capable of. I know the highs, I know the lows, the weird offshoots, the spin-offs, the safe sequels, the retro throwbacks. I've been there through all of it. But nothing, and I mean this, nothing has hit me like Super Mario Bros. Wonder did. And I didn't expect that, really, to be honest. I went in thinking it would be yet another solid Mario game, coming off of the heels of new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which, as I've gotten older, I have realized, to me, really isn't a great game. I went in thinking that it would be a solid experience. It'd be a fun little throwback, right? It'd be something pleasant, something polished, maybe with a few twists, and then the game would end. But instead, I got something that I was not expecting in the slightest. I got a game that felt living. Something that felt like it was made by people that were having fun, you know? Something that felt like Nintendo finally cracked open the 2D Mario vault and said, screw it. Let's get nuts. Wonder is not just my favorite 2D Mario. It's the one that made me fall back in love with 2D Mario games. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe really left a sour taste in my mouth. And this was the perfect palate cleanser. Let's start with what makes Wonder so different. The creativity behind it. It's not the safe, curated creativity that gets filtered through 100 different design meetings. I'm talking about raw, weird, let's see what happens creativity. The Wonder effects are the headliners here. And rightfully so. They feel like tiny micro games that are baked directly into the level design. But the brilliance isn't just in what happens, it's in how it happens, when it happens. The build-up, the surprise, and the insane payoff. One level turns you into a Goomba, and then suddenly you're hiding from enemies instead of squashing them. Another one transforms your entire movement style. 1 second you're platforming. The next one you're swimming through air bubbles, or galloping with a herd, or climbing a tower that shifts your rhythm. These aren't just visual gags either. They are immense design shifts. They reshape how you interact with the level, and how the level interacts with you. Most platformers get stuck in a specific formula, but Wonder breaks out with its own formula every 5 minutes, it felt like. And yet it never feels disjointed or convoluted at all. Somehow, all of it fits. It's not chaos for the sake of having chaos. There's a rhythm underneath all of it. A core design philosophy that says, let's surprise you, but let's never frustrate you. That's rare, and that's hard to pull off. But Wonder absolutely nails it. What really sets Wonder apart isn't just the mechanics, it's the personality behind everything in this game. The tone, the visuals, the sound design, the vibe of everything. This game has an insane amount of character. It doesn't feel like it was designed in a vacuum. It doesn't feel like it was designed to meet a deadline. It feels like it was designed by people who were actually laughing and having fun with the player while they were making it. And you can feel that joy in the animation, in the music, in the little details that most players might miss on a first run, or if you're just not paying attention for those things. Take the talking flowers. Yeah, they're goofy. They spout weird lines and dad jokes and little comments mid-level that might get a little annoying. But somehow, they made this world feel interconnected. Like you're not just running through a static course like a lot of new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe felt. You're passing through a living space that has history, that has lore, that reacts to you as you play. Or look at the way the characters move. Mario and Luigi do a heck of a lot more than just run and jump the end. They emote, they wobble, they react, they glance around. And that little expressiveness makes a difference, especially in a 2D platforming franchise that really hasn't ever had anything like that before. It's like the game finally caught up with what kids have imagined Mario doing for decades and decades. And it's not just the heroes either. The enemies feel different too. They're obstacles, obviously, but they have personality too. The Shy Guys have routines. The Goombas might hesitate. Piranha Plants do a full Broadway number early on in the game. Every enemy feels like a part of a bigger ecosystem rather than just another thing to jump on. It's such a massive leap forward from the sort of sterile, samey feel of the later New Super Mario Bros. Games. That series felt very manufactured, at least the later entries did. But this one feels handmade. Everything is just so bouncy, so flamboyant, so eccentric, and just so fun, so wonderful. All of that charm and weirdness wouldn't mean much if the gameplay was crappy or if it didn't hold up. But this is still a Mario game at its core, and that means the controls are sharp, really sharp. Jump physics, perfect. Movement, smooth. Momentum, dialed in. It feels so good to play. Better than most 2D platformers even try to be. Every jump, every slide, every mid-air course correction feels deliberate and responsive and tight. But here's where Wonder goes further than it has to. It gives you tools to play your own way. The badge system is low-key one of the best ideas that Nintendo has had ever in a 2D Mario game. You can equip these little modifiers, their little extra abilities, tweaks, challenge options, and they completely change how you approach a level, and yet you can complete every level without needing a specific badge. Wall jumps, floating hats, dolphin kicks, bigger, longer jumps, even invisibility if you want to make things harder. It's modular design without turning into a convoluted skill tree mess. Just enough flexibility to encourage experimentation without overwhelming you. And it gives an immense amount of replay value. The same level can feel completely different and turned on its head depending on which badge you're using. It's kind of a subtle way of saying, hey, let's try this again a different way and see what happens. And I'm not alone in thinking that Wonder is a standout. This wasn't some underdog sleeper hit that some games like maybe Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is. It landed like a bomb. The critics went crazy for it. 10s and 9s across the board. Words like innovative, imaginative, delightful were plastered across Twitter and Reddit and YouTube and all of these different review sites. They got thrown around so much they kind of lost meaning. But they were all true. And for once, it wasn't just the nostalgia talking. It wasn't just, quote, another solid 2D Mario game. Even longtime fans who, since then, had been burned out on 2D Mario, gave this one a shot. And most of them left saying, yeah, this one is special. We are so back. Sales backed it up too. The hype lasted. It wasn't just a launch week moment or initial hype. It kept that momentum because it earned that momentum. Nintendo wasn't chasing a trend. It was setting one. And for all their conservatism, they finally took a risk again. And it paid off. Big time. Now let's talk about the obvious comparison, and that's Donkey Kong Country, especially Tropical Freeze, which a lot of people, including me, consider one of the greatest games ever, and is in my top 5 video games of all time. I think I prefer Tropical Freeze just because I prefer the way that Donkey Kong Country feels compared to 2D Mario, but both of these games are masterpieces. Both games are brilliant. They're both tight, they're both challenging, and they're both full of detail. And Tropical Freeze came out 9 years prior, mind you. Both games flow like music. Every level ramps up in a way that feels intentional, it feels artful, and the environmental storytelling in both games is phenomenal. They are masterclasses in platform design. But what Wonder does is a little bit different than Tropical Freeze. The whole point of Wonder, to me at least, was to feel different, was to feel more big, more grand, more out of this world, more weird. And Wonder embraced that chaos and that absurdity. Where Donkey Kong Country to me is a well-rehearsed orchestra, you could say, Wonder is an improv jam session. Donkey Kong Country challenges you to master rhythm and timing, and Wonder dares you to get weird. It invites surprise, it invites imperfection, because a lot of these levels, it's very hard to master because there are so many different, wild, weird things being thrown at you at all times. From the Wonder Seeds to the Wonder Flowers to the inverted levels to everything in Wonder is just so weird, and it is exactly what the 2D platforming genre needed. You're not always meant to ace every level in this game on the first try. You're not going to. I failed a lot playing through this game. You're meant to explore. You're meant to laugh at it. You're meant to mess around. You're meant to get lost in this absurd, insane world. And that's not a knock on Donkey Kong Country, obviously. That's my favorite gaming franchise of all time. Both games franchises are aiming for very different things. One is precision platforming and the other is sort of playful, nuts discovery. And frankly, I think Wonder borrowed the best parts of Donkey Kong Country's presentation. The visual storytelling, the fluid, kinetic animation, and then layered on its own brand of surreal, absurd, crazy design on top of it. It learned from Donkey Kong Country, but then evolved and did its own thing. I think Tropical Freeze and Mario Bros. Wonder have a lot in common. They're both on the Switch, they're both graphically beautiful, they both have an incredible soundtrack, and they both represent the best of what Donkey Kong Country and 2D Mario has to offer. And the best part of Wonder is, it doesn't feel like a one-off. This feels like a new blueprint. We're past the new Super Mario Bros. Days now, thankfully. Those games had their fair share of time in the spotlight, but they were just too safe, especially U Deluxe. They were too iterative. The branding even became a meme. New Mario that somehow felt older than World, or 3 even. Wonder throws that whole playbook out. It's bold, it's stylish, it takes risks, and more importantly, it feels like it's just the beginning of something great. I don't want to go back to the old way. I want a new franchise of Mario Wonder style games. More weirdness, more abstractness, more absurdity, more chaos, more personality, more charm, more risks. I want a sequel that pushes things established in Wonder even further. Things that leans into that energy and asks, how much stranger can we get without losing the core of 2D Mario? Because if this is the new standard, then 2D Mario just got a second life. I did not expect to love this game as much as I did. I thought it would be good. Like I said, I thought it'd be fine. I just needed it to be better than New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And it absolutely was. I didn't expect it to reignite something in me. But it did. It made me remember why I loved 2D Mario in the first place, or even Mario and Luigi, Peach, Toad, Daisy, Bowser, the whole world of Mario. It reminded me why I love these games, this world, this franchise, these characters again. It reminded me that platformers don't have to be predictable. They don't have to be cookie cutter filler titles. Creativity is still alive, and it still matters now more than ever. That charm, that humor, that personality can coexist with tight design and clean gameplay. Look at any of the Donkey Kong Country games. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a great game. It's a fantastic game. And it's a reminder that joy and having fun in life just matters. Surprise matters. Sometimes weirdness and strangeness and absurdity and oddities are good. This is my favorite 2D Mario game, easily. Not just because it's fun, but because, to me, it made Mario feel alive again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite 2D Mario game is in the comments below. Like, subscribe, comment, join the Just Nintendo Society Discord server, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, and take care.